and welcome to the as yet untitled CCH VidCast. I think we've done a few podcasts. Now, in these troubled times, we are all in our own homes, but still looking at the latest gaming news and what hopefully will be going on in the centre in a few months, what we're playing right now, and things like that. So what we got, Dan?
What we got, lots going on. So today we've got a special guest. We've got myself, Dan, hey, how you doing? And regular Adrian, hey, how you doing? But
Hello.
today, introduce yourself, miss. Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Katrina. I'm Design and Communications Officer, and I really, really like Animal Crossing.
We'll come to that later. We've got some other really big-ish news. So, yes, in these troubled times, we are suffering a real nightmare scenario. No one can buy Switches anywhere. All the Switches have sold out.
Absolutely awesome for anyone who doesn't like Animal Crossing, but for all those people who do want to play the game, they can't get hold of a Switch for love nor money at the moment, I don't think, can they?
You can get a Switch Lite, no worries. Switch Lites are still around, but full dock Switch, not happening.
I mean, the Switch Lite, is that really a Switch? You can't switch it.
No, we're not particularly big fans of the Switch Lite, I'll say.
Do you think it's a big enough discount off the full version, the full Switch?
No.
No.
To be quite honest, no. It just cuts too much out. Got the Switch here, and Switch Lite, a bit smaller than that. It's not even that much smaller, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, it's only useful to me if I happen to be playing and wanting to watch something on the TV at the same time.
But if you want one,
you could say Animal Crossing is a handheld game. It's always been on handhelds. I know I had GameCube and Wii, but it was, it really came big on DS. It's a handheld game. I use it mostly on my Switch in handheld mode anyway. I don't know about you guys.
No, most of the time it is on TV on mine. So, but that is the brilliant thing with the Switch. I guess I can just pull it out of the dock if I do want to play it in handheld mode. If I want to watch Law and Order or something. Sure.
But,
don't laugh at Law and Order.
Oh, yeah,
it's America's longest running TV series.
Didn't see that coming. Also, rumours, there's talk of a Super Mario All-Stars 2, some sort of HD compilation coming out for the Switch, which sounds awesome. There's rumblings of a triple pack containing Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, which is massively underrated, and Galaxy, all in one glorious package. Who's in?
I'm in.
I mean, the thing is, they've gone and released Super Mario Brothers U for about, what is it now, the third or fourth time? And no one's revisited Sunshine, which, as you say, is actually a really, really good game.
It is. Cracking.
The chance to play... that's one game that I don't think you could play the Galaxy games properly in handheld mode.
Yeah.
I think that would be a struggle. I think you would have to have the controllers separate because that's the little whiz controls.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds bad, doesn't it? But the little shaking controls and all the rest of it that Galaxy had on, I don't think that translates too well to the Lite, certainly.
Good point. Yeah, how would they do it on the Switch?
Well, you'd have the controllers separately, wouldn't you?
I suppose.
And they'd be in the same way as the Wiimote, the original.
Yeah.
In handheld mode, I'm not sure.
No.
Would they have to butcher the experience to get it onto the DS Lite?
I mean, to be honest, yeah.
Not the DS Lite.
Yeah.
The Switch Lite even, yes, thank you.
And there's also talk of bringing 3D World as a separate thing on the eShop, perhaps, on the Switch. So, be good. The year of Mario.
3D World I did enjoy, but that's when I started to realise I'm probably not very good at platformers anymore.
Right.
When I got hold of 3D World, it's very, a lot of precision points in that game.
Okay.
I jump on a gate and immediately jump onto another gate before it flips over and fires me into oblivion. Happened far too many times. So,
our final piece of Switch news, because it's been quite Switch heavy so far. Switch update 10.0 came out.
Yeah.
Did anyone notice?
The most
I
pointless.
updated it this morning and I didn't notice anything.
It's it's such a waste of a whole number update. I don't know why this has been made
Especially the number
10.0.
10, you'd expect something a bit spectacular for a number 10, wouldn't you?
I want to be able to change my UI. I want 2 more colours other than white and black. I want folders. I want all these things that all other machines have had for the last 10 years. But no, what did we get instead? Anyone know?
No.
I think it was the ability to send data from your internal memory to your SD card.
That's it. So you could transfer memory between internal memory and SD card, and you could remap your buttons. So
I need to remap the buttons of Animal Crossing, but we'll come back to that.
All right. So that was
a good point about like the black and white theme. Like we should be able to download not custom themes, but game themes from the store, like we could on 3DS. There's tons on there.
I don't know.
Little stickers you could move around, like with your icons. It was so customizable. You could have like a Rhythm Paradise stickers next to your Super Mario and Pikachu.
Yeah. It is
I found that
baffling.
a lot between the 3DS and the Switch, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little things on the 3DS that I really miss not having on the Switch. Like, it's a silly thing to me, but total game time.
The
total game time. And you know exactly what you played and when. But the Switch, it's almost, you played that for about 50 hours. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much. Can't be bothered.
Oddly approximate, about 80 hours. Yeah.
I don't like that. And there's a few little things from the 3DS experience that would have been great if they'd have made it onto the Switch.
Yeah, a lot of customizability, I think.
Yeah.
Making it your own.
More than 2 colours? That's not very hard to implement. I mean, let's have a blue background. I don't know. Let's go crazy.
Imagine like a colour picker. How hard can that be?
Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Yeah. And like you get, how many is it? You get about 10 games, and then it puts the rest all in a little generic all games folder. It's not ideal. So yeah, hopefully update 11 might have some cool new stuff in there.
Also, we keep hearing it in comments on the museum Facebook and Twitter all the time. We show them a machine, don't we? And then someone comes up in the comments of, but can it play Crysis? Well, soon your Switch will be able to play remastered Crysis. Is anyone at all excited about that?
Of course it can. Crysis is what, 15 years old now? Like what? Of course it can. Is there anything that can't play Crysis?
Apparently, that is the thing. It is apparently coming to the Switch.
Brilliant.
I was always in two minds about Crysis. It looked fantastic. And for the first few levels, absolutely brilliant, taking out rebel troops and blowing up their installations. And then the aliens arrived and killed it. So they just float about all the time, usually just out of your reach, shooting you in the face. And it just got really, really annoying. And Crysis 2 was the same.
Right.
Which Crysis 2 wasn't a sequel. It was happening at the same time as Crysis, but just in a city somewhere else. So same thing. The police are trying to keep you in. You wipe them out, and then the aliens appear, and it's just like, oh god, not these pricks again. And so I wasn't a massive fan of it, but would we want people to stop saying, "Can it play Crysis"?
I prefer Doom as the benchmark for can it run Doom. That's what I prefer.
Yeah, that's the more common one that I've seen.
Yeah, I like it. It's more of a challenge. But will you be picking up? I mean, I don't know if I will. I played them. I played all 3. I love the second one. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not one for me. I've got Doom and Duke Nukem. I'm sorted.
Probably.
Yeah, because Doom 64 was a bit of a surprise on the Switch, really. I know we all picked that up.
Yeah.
And it's really cheap. And yeah, it's a bit aged, but it's just real pure action, isn't it? But basically, if you could have a game from your past and it was brought out on the Switch, what would you have?
Aye. Well, mine's going to happen anyway. I want Metroid Prime on Switch. It's happening. It's good. I don't know why it hasn't. It's obviously in the bank. It's done because it's a
And I'll be controversial here.
Yeah.
The Metroid games, for whatever reason, and it's nothing to do with their quality, have never been massive sellers, really, have they?
US and Europe, not so bad. In Japan, they've always bombed hard. So, yeah.
Such a shame, 'cause they're all really great games.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, there's been talk of the
I did want
HD.
to smash my GameCube to bits when I reached the final boss. It was just
It's okay.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a bit gimmicky. What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good though.
But I mean, one for me, which is never going to happen, that I would love to have on Switch so I could just play it anywhere, would be like a Half-Life compendium.
Okay, yeah. The orange box.
The orange box on Switch would just be awesome.
Mm.
Absolutely brilliant. I would love that. Take Switch to the toilet. Play
Imagine
it
like a Portal themed Switch. You could have like a blue Joy-Con, the orange Joy-Con.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Portal. Get Portal on it. Team Fortress. Absolutely brilliant. So, Katrina, what game would you have on the Switch?
I don't know. I need time to think about that one. It would probably be like an ultimate Animal Crossing, which is what we might have with all the updates and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Everything I've got, I'm kind of like satisfied with. Like, I like playing it on its original system, and remasters don't bother me that much.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. You wouldn't like Sam and Max in your pocket.
It did come out on the Wii.
I'm annoyed that they did Day of the Tentacle and not Sam and Max Hit the Road, because that to me is the ultimate one. I know everyone talks about Monkey Island, but Sam and Max Hit the Road, I think, was like the game that made me realise, oh, I really like video games.
I think Sam and Max as well is because it was a little bit fairer than a lot of the others. Day of the Tentacle, you can spend ages trying to solve some ridiculous puzzle.
Yeah.
That if you haven't got the most lateral mind on the planet, you are never going to solve. And some of the ones in Monkey Island were just absolutely ridiculous. But Sam and Max, you always felt like you were making at least a little bit of progress whenever you played it. So
perhaps. I was young and I did end up using a walkthrough, and I'm now replaying it again, trying to see if I can just remember everything from the walkthrough and still solve it all.
So our next point is Cooking Mama Chaos.
Oh my word. Yes. Now I do love my Cooking Mama games. I do. They're just silly little fun games. I've always liked them.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to it for the vegetarian option. And I kind of wanted to buy it just to support the fact that they've put that in, that you can play the entire game vegetarian.
But the latest one, it's hit the buffers somewhat.
Yeah.
I think it's now caught up in, I don't know if it's quite there yet, with legal issues.
It might be worth picking one up.
The original IP holder is extremely upset, thinks that the latest game is of substandard quality, a bit like my speech, and shouldn't be released. And I think there is talk of legal action in the offing.
There is.
So it was released. It was live on the store for a couple of hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then got pulled when there was a crazy story went around that it was mining.
But there are still physical copies out there, and I reckon they're going to be worth a fair bit. So if you can find one, get it, hang on to it. Might be worth a bit in the future if it is getting
We
pulled.
should get one to preserve in our archive. That's the real story we should be telling.
Definitely, that'd be cool. Yeah, all sorts of weirdness.
Anyone out there who doesn't want to get caught up in a legal storm, then we will selflessly take your Cooking Mama off of you from your Switch, and we will look after it in a fully accredited way.
And our last bit of news before we get onto the Animal Crossing goodness. There's still no PC Engine Mini. I ordered mine the day it was announced. Still haven't got it. It was supposed to come out almost a month ago now, and I'm gutted.
I would imagine it's got to be manufacturing difficulties.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's getting out of the country as well. Getting it out of China and into England's tricky at the moment, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the PC Engine, as you both know, is a particular favourite of mine. And I'm in two minds. Do I want to spend £100 on something that lets me play all those lovely games, 50-odd games, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, more than that.
One box. But I'm a bit of a purist. I kind of don't think I'll enjoy plugging it in through an HDMI socket and it not looking how a PC Engine should look.
Yeah, a bit of grain.
I've got a bit of a problem with that. I think it might look a bit too clean, which is a bit of a. I mean, Nintendo tried with their consoles to give you like the scan line and everything like that. They succeeded to a point, but I then had to learn how to play all those games again because they were in 60 hertz, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to the old PAL ones.
Yeah.
But of course, we didn't have that problem here because they never released the thing.
No.
But also, if we had have had the PC Engine in Europe, we wouldn't have had the one that they've designed for us, which is the core graphics.
No.
We would have had the turbo graphics. It's a small thing, but I've got turbo graphics just over there, and it looks nothing like a core graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for anyone who doesn't know the PC Engine, I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing to get hold of because the games selection is absolutely brilliant. It's got things on there like Sapphire that if you tried to find that as an actual CD, cost you £300-400 easily.
Yeah.
So let alone Ghouls and Ghosts for the super graphics that's on there. But yeah, great selection of games, classic little console that. But the thing is, in this country, it's not really going to have the nostalgia that something like the NES Mini or the Mega Drive or the SNES had, because we didn't really see it unless you were someone like me who spent ridiculous amounts of money back in the day grey importing them.
So if you could have any mini console, what would you have?
Well, I think most of mine have already been done. So Super Nintendo, PC Engine, wasn't that attached to the Master System, so I think my two are probably already there. So he looking around, trying to. I mean, obviously, I think the Nintendo 64 would be a fantastic one, but I have a funny feeling I think Nintendo might be having a little bit of trouble with that one with licensing issues.
Okay.
Because obviously, Rare was their main second-party developer for the Nintendo 64, and now they're owned by Microsoft, which could make things a little bit tricky. And I think GoldenEye is in a perennial hell of who owns the rights to that now. So it would already, I think, be missing one of its greatest games if it was to come out. I don't think you'd see GoldenEye. I mean, one of the games that I'd want to be on there, because I played it ridiculous. Well, it's the title I bought with it would be Shadows of the Empire, the Star Wars game.
Yeah, so good. So good. Oh my God.
Such a really great game. But it really hammered home the difficulty Nintendo were having at the time sticking to cartridges. Because you've got the PlayStation with all its cinematic entrances and the Saturn as well.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, up comes the intro of Shadow of the... And it's like static cartoon screens.
Yeah.
And subtitles. And no talking, and the samples are really, really low quality throughout the game. That took a bit of getting used to. But as soon as I brought down my first AT-AT walkthrough, I was quite happy.
Fair play.
You're saying Star Wars N64 games, but you're not saying pod races? I only had it on PC, but I played it over and over again.
Yeah,
I don't even like Star Wars.
It's awesome.
I did notice on the Switch the other day that Jedi Outcast is on.
It is? That's awesome. Jedi Academy, not so much.
I would want the original Jedi Knight 2.
Yeah. Well, Dark Forces.
The Dark Forces.
Yeah, Dark Forces.
Remastered Dark Forces. That'd be excellent.
That'd be good.
But yeah, I mean, the Nintendo 64, I'd want a few of the Japanese games on there. There's Sin and Punishment. To leave that off would be an absolute tragedy.
It came to the Wii Virtual Console, so they have it. But Kat, what's your dream miniature console or machine for that matter?
Yeah, it would have to be the Amiga.
Mini.
I really wanted to have functioning keys, like a working tiny keyboard. That would be perfect. And the little cruiser joystick, the pastel coloured one. That'd be great. But I don't really see that happening. But you never know.
I mean, that'd be down to licensing issues again. It's whoever still owes the Commodore brand, I guess. I mean, a company did bring the C64 Mini to market. So if you had to pick, I mean, games to go on the Amiga Mini.
Amiga Classic.
No one would want the games that I'd want. I'd want like Postman Pat, Fun School, all the ones I used to play. And that's why I'd want the keyboard to function as well. A lot of my games were, typing in your ABCs. You can't use a joystick with those.
So your Amiga Mini would have to have an SD card, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No one else
So-
would buy my selection of games. Maybe
I
I
mean,
should
you'd be happy enough if you had things like Rodland on there and
Oh, yeah, other people would like Rodland at least. Maybe I should just get a
Rodland
Pi,
or-
and I think I've seen 3D printed like Amiga cases for your Raspberry Pi. Maybe I have to settle for that.
yeah, build your own. But yeah, Amiga Mini. There's no market for it, but
Rude.
purely oh no, not your Amiga. There'd be a market for that. I'm saying there'd be no market for one of my other ones, which would be the Atari ST Mini, because the design of that computer was fantastic. But UK wise, because the trouble is, it stopped getting the really good games around about 1990. They were only coming out on the Amiga and PC. So yeah, Dan, have you got one?
CPC Mini.
CPC Mini.
Yeah. No, obviously 64 Mini, a Dreamcast Mini. That'd be phenomenal. Wheel those out again, all those classic Dreamcast games. That'd be amazing.
What's the least likely mini that's gonna come out?
PlayStation 3 Mini.
That'd be
You never
amazing.
know.
And that's a really good point. Where's my Master System Mini? Like a handheld Mini would be ridiculous. Like that'd be awesome. Like a Game Boy Mini would be so awesome.
A Game Gear might be a sensible size.
Yeah.
Or it links.
Like a Game Boy Mini.
They slightly missed a trick with the Mega Drive Mini. It would have been nice to have had a few of the earlier games on there. Just put a couple of SG-1000 and a couple of Master System games on there.
Yeah.
And Flicky, yeah.
Hero.
Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Or how about Congo Bongo?
No, I'm alright.
It's great. Look, it's a bit like a Donkey Kong, but worse in every way. You see that on there? You see, it's sort of like a little island hopping.
It's quite a good scene. I like the artwork.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
But you know, something like that, I do think they missed the opportunity to just put a couple of their earlier games on there. I think that would have been really cool, because I don't think, I mean, I love the way it looks, but I don't think you'll ever see an SG-1000 Mini.
Before we go on to Animal Crossing, take a minute. So, Adrian, you mentioned this a minute ago that we are still shut. The Centre for Computing History is still closed to the public and to us, mostly.
Yes.
But we can still receive support from the people, can't we?
We can in various ways. So you follow the link on the banner on our website, and there is a donate there. You'd know this better than anyone, Dan. Can we still send merchandise out if people buy it?
You
like our
bet your boots. We are. We got a lot of things still going out. So yes, if you do place an order on our website, it will absolutely be sent to you. We are absolutely still running our online store and stuff. Yeah.
So on there is our top trump cards.
Yep. Your shirt.
And, well, not my.
Not that literal one. Well,
this one's a bit faded now, but
50 quid.
It's well worn.
Cool. Yeah, mugs, puzzles, all sorts of cool stuff. Check it out on our website, computinghistory.org.uk. You can make a donation there, cash donation, or you can turn to our Patreon. We've got started a new Patreon, various tiers, so we give you stuff early before everyone else if you sign to our Patreon, which is pretty cool. And you can tie purchase made at Amazon to the Centre for Computing History. If you go to smile.amazon.co.uk, you can choose the Centre for Computing History as your chosen charity. And also Humble Bundle. You can tie any purchase you make with Humble Bundle to us as well. That's very cool. Now, in these troubled times, people are trapped at home, people are having a bit of a clear out. If they find something juicy that we might be interested in at the CCH, what should they do, Adrian?
What should they do is email us. So, collection at computinghistory.org.uk. Perhaps we can put that up on the screen. I don't know if we can do that. And then we'll get back to you. I mean, obviously, it's very difficult for us to get into the museum at the moment. if there's something extra specially nice out there that needs to be got to the centre as quickly as possible, then we might be able to help. Other than that, might ask you to hold on to it for a little while until we're open again, which we're hoping to goodness isn't going to be as long as they're saying it could be. But yeah, we're all in the same boat. We know that everyone's probably worried about mortgages, money, and that sort of thing. But if you can help in any way whatsoever, that would be really, really great. Also, we're still making regular Twitter and Facebook posts, so have a look at those. Just keep in contact with us, basically.
And Instagram, our mailing list as well. Another offer we've got in our shop, I should have said, our annual passes. We're now making those valid for 14 months from your first visit. So you can support us now financially and then use your privilege, later on when we do reopen.
That's
so it's 14 months instead of 12. Yeah, it's a good offer.
All right, it's a time that you two have both been waiting for. Animal Crossing. New Horizons.
Let's get back to Animal Crossing. We nearly spilled into a big Animal Crossing discussion earlier.
It's all right, isn't it? It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Animal Crossing.
I've got the most play hours out of all of us.
I have. I'm clocking 90 plus now. It's awesome.
Because if you watched our last video cast, I was dead against getting it.
You were.
Because I thought to myself, I'm playing New Leaf. I've stuck 505 hours as it was. I think it's a few more than that now. Into this game. I don't need another Animal Crossing. I can't play them both. So, and then we got put into lockdown. And then I could see Kat and Dan here playing away, swapping stories, and I was like, I'm not going to be left out. So once Nintendo put the stock back in, I was there a couple of weeks behind you two. Not in hours, I don't think, but and I'm trying to decide if it is one of the greatest games of all time.
No.
And Daniel's saying no.
It's an easy answer to that, but
Animal Crossing is definitely one of the greatest series of all time. Sorry,
okay.
I won't give you that.
No, go on. Explain yourself.
Animal Crossing is definitely one of the greatest game series of all time. I don't know if I can make a decision about this particular game yet, but of all the series, yeah.
It's barely a game.
Actually, at the moment, I think we've had this discussion elsewhere amongst ourselves that there is an awful lot missing.
Right.
Compared to New Leaf at the moment. Whether they're going to add these things in, there's been little hints that I think Isabel at one point says we need more shop fronts or something. Or the town would be a lot better if we had more shop fronts. Whether we'll start seeing some of these missing characters. I mean, we haven't got Brewster. We haven't got Brewster the pigeon and his coffee shop. I mean, it's not Animal Crossing without him, surely.
It's true. But it might be a bit too early to say these things, though, right? Because it's only been out, 3 weeks now or so? So, he might.
Yeah.
He might
I'm
have
trying to remember how long it took to get the Roost, the coffee shop in New Leaf, and I don't think it was anywhere near as long.
Right.
My 3DS has got about 500 photos on it. So whenever something interesting happens in New Leaf, I was always there with the camera, taking a screen grab, and got a new bridge. Celebrate that with 4 or 5 pictures. Winning an animal trophy, bug hunt gold trophy, more pictures. The Roost appears, more pictures, and it's just that it does seem at the moment. I think the problem I had with it as well is I started it literally a few days before Easter.
Right, yeah.
And what happened in this game just before Easter?
Eggs.
And more eggs.
So
until
many.
I realised what I was doing, all I was doing was fishing bloody eggs out of the river, shooting eggs out of the sky, digging eggs up out of the ground. And it just got massively irritating. I was trying to get started in the game, and I was, as far as I was concerned, being severely hampered by wretched eggs. I think it did stunt the development of my little town quite severely for a whole week.
All right.
Because I learned in the end to stop fishing for the medium-sized shadows in the river
Yeah.
because they were always eggs.
That was annoying.
And the balloons were multicoloured. They were easy to spot.
Yeah.
But then only getting one fossil out of 5 eggs that I was digging out of the ground was incredibly irritating. And I think it's the first Animal Crossing that I've played as well that literally for a couple of days before the bricks and mortar resident building went up, I literally had absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah.
I was
the
literally
first
just
3 days
around plucking fish out of the sea, and there was literally nothing going on. And I've not had that in an Animal Crossing game before, which did leave me with a slight twinge of disappointment.
There is an argument though that I know that for so many people it's a good thing that it came out during lockdown, like perfect timing. But there's also people saying that, we've kind of broken the game because we're playing it a lot faster and at, a greater rate, spending more time on it than we should be or than we normally would be if we weren't under lockdown. So people are really racing through it that they probably wouldn't normally be.
Yeah, and I've also heard along those lines that people are actually altering their clock on their Switch, and they're going to the next day and then the next day after that, doing 2 or 3 days work in
so weird
a couple of nights. But apparently I did read ominously that the developers have got plans for those people.
Yeah, I'd never time travel. It's not right.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, the clock on my 3DS is usually wrong. I've usually got it set for the afternoon when I play it in the evening, because just nothing goes on in the evening.
Well, that's why I got the late night town ordinance.
Yeah, but then you've got to water your plants and pick rubbish out of your rivers.
I like picking rubbish up my rivers. I like shopping late at night. That's the most important thing.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that is one of the beauties of Animal Crossing, really, isn't it? That everyone plays it slightly differently.
Yeah. I mean, we've moved on to New Leaf again because we haven't stopped playing New Leaf still. When are we going to leave that behind?
We're never going to leave New Leaf behind, are we? Say it now. Repeat after me, Kat. I'm never leaving New Leaf behind.
We're never leaving New Leaf behind. I can't. I've committed too much to it.
Yeah. I certainly have 5 bloody years. Well, yeah, it's about 5 years. So once you've done that, and as well as that, you reach a point in the game as well where you don't need to have it on for as long every day. And I think New Horizons, if Animal Crossing is anything to go by, that will go the same way.
Yeah.
We won't actually have to play it for 2 or 3 hours a night. We'll come on, we'll walk the plants, go off and do something else. And New Leafs at that stage, I don't have to have it on for hours and hours. Or I think 3/4 of an hour a day, something like that. I have that on for now.
That's definitely where my game's going recently. I found myself having more time to play other things. Like for the last 2 weeks, it's been Animal Crossing. But now it's kind of like a little bit of Animal Crossing, then all these other games, and then a little bit more, and then that's me for the day. Kind of bookends my gaming with Animal Crossing.
I mean, the credits have rolled on your game, haven't they?
Yeah, I've finished it. I've finished Animal Crossing. I'm an Animal Crossing champion. Yeah, well, essentially, before that, it's tutorial, isn't it, really? The whole thing's a tutorial, and then after that, it's like, go Animal Crossing now, so...
Because presumably you haven't got all the fossils yet, or all the bugs or anything.
No, nowhere near. No, it's all seasonal, so I haven't. But, yeah, but I have unlocked, terrain manipulation and water manipulation, which is alright. It's quite cool. But yeah, it's good.
So if we had to rate Animal Crossing out of 10, what would we be thinking?
Oh, it's a solid 8. It's fine.
Because I love Animal Crossing, I'd probably go for a 9, but it certainly isn't a 10 out of 10 game.
I don't know how to rate it. I kind of want to rate it against the other ones the other Animal Crossing games I've played, and I'm not sure it's as good as New Leaf yet.
No, I don't think it is either.
But it's on a Switch, and there's so many more pixels of cuteness, so I kind of want to give it more points for that. I don't think I can rate it yet.
I mean, the big bonus I think it has over New Leaf is how the characters interact with the landscape.
Yeah.
They go around studying flowers and sniffing flowers, and
that is impressive.
I caught a very strange video. I didn't know what was going on. I've got 2 kangaroos, and they were just running around the plaza with sticks.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue what they were doing,
and
I did ask the
sit
question.
Under trees and.
Yeah, sit by the river, and I think the best moment I've had so far with character interaction was there was a tarantula walking through the plaza, and it was Tutu was watching it walk past, and then I came up close and it reared up, but it actually went after Tutu and she ran off.
Oh.
And then I tried to swipe the tarantula, missed, and then it bit me. It was just one of those great moments. You don't get that in other games. It's just one of those silly little moments that made me laugh. And I forgot to take a video of it. But that's the other thing as well. We haven't even started with characters leaving the town or others arriving. So I think it's in its embryonic stage, but it is certainly, as Kat says, I don't think you're supposed to play it that fast. I think that the biggest thing that annoyed me, it shouldn't have annoyed me really, about this one was that the whole landscape wasn't available to me.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Straight off.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to get to those hills over there.
Nope.
Because my town's very, very strange layout. I've got lots and lots of rivers and pools, and the fact that I couldn't get to any of them was that did annoy me a bit. It seemed just a little bit too slow compared to Wild World and New Leaf, and that's what makes me rate it down just a little bit.
Oh.
So, other than Animal Crossing, because I think we've pretty much covered that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Other than Animal Crossing, what other games are we playing?
Oh, I'm still trying to finish Red Dead Redemption 2 that Dan lent me on PS4. But of course, now I've got a Switch. That's kind of taking over. I'm playing on PC. I'm playing a little Snaky Bus on PC. Bit of Euro Truck Simulator.
I'm having to go back and go through my enormous pile of PlayStation 4 games that I have either not started or... I was buying every single PlayStation VR game that I could find because I was loving the experience. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, whatever PlayStation VR game I put on now just makes me want to throw up.
So I just remembered when you said you were playing Tetris and fell asleep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that, if the people I live with know how to use a digital camera, would have been really funny. Yeah, I was playing Tetris Effect, and people came in my room and I was just slumped in the chair with the headset trying to break my neck. Yeah, just gone to sleep, which is a bit weird, but I've tried playing. I can play Astrobot.
So good.
There's a few others. The Persistence, looking at the pile down here, Battlezone. I tried playing Doom. They just make me want to hell nowadays. Don't know whether my eyesight's decreased slightly or something. I don't know. So I'm going through the rest of the PS4 collection that I haven't played. So I'm all the way back with like Battlefield 1. At the moment, just having a little play of that. And also, one I know we've all played, Conduct Together.
Yes, I love that on Switch.
89p. What a bargain.
Utter bargain. So fun. Really hard. Really hard.
Someone describe it who can describe it better than me.
It's a puzzle game with trains based on timing. You have to change the junctions at the right time so your trains don't crash, but also pick up people and drop them off at the right stops.
And now that sounds easy, doesn't it?
That sounds super simple.
Ridiculously difficult. I mean, I have a problem where I stop at a station to let people out and another train just comes and hits me.
Yeah.
Because I've just messed the timing up elsewhere, like stopped too early at a level crossing to let a van through or something. And I don't think me and that game are going to be best friends, to be honest.
I mean, you can control that. You can control every train individually, like with the A, B, X, Y buttons. Yeah. I don't really know the A, B, X, Y buttons very well. I've never really used them that much. Even on like 3DS, I never really needed to know which was A and which was B, because I would play PlayStation mostly. And also to change the junctions, you have to use the arrow keys.
Yeah.
Arrow keys, the D-pad buttons.
The D-pad one.
Quite unnatural, I think.
That's the most confusing.
That junction is this one.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a pattern to it.
No, and I'm all fingers and thumbs with it as well, so I'm constantly hitting the wrong button.
Yeah.
And I think I've virtually killed thousands of people on that game now.
I'd like to see how far you both are through it. I don't know if I'm doing well or not.
Not very. I think I'm only something stupid like the 8th level or something daft. I'm really not.
I think I'm about four worlds. You get little blocks, don't you, little chunks.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, I think I'm on my 4th now, I think.
I think I've got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's called Conduct Together. You're supposed to be playing it multiplayer, and I don't know if that would make it easier. We have to do
so
it in
much
person.
more, yeah.
I don't think it's got online play, has it? So maybe
So
one day we'll
much
do it in person.
harder
Get
with
really
someone.
angry at each other.
No.
That was another missed opportunity that I saw lately. So got hold of the Namco Museum pack.
Oh, yeah.
And on there it's got Pac-Man Versus.
Ah.
So 3 of you play as the ghost, 1 of you plays as Pac-Man, or 1 of you can just be a ghost and chase after Pac-Man with 2 other bots. Why on earth is that not online? Multiplayer is local, but not online, which I think is really, really disappointing. I hope they patch it or do something, because that was a big disappointment. Because I was saying to both of you, yeah, get this Pac-Man Versus, we'll all have a play at that. Now we've got to wait until this dreadful virus is out of the way by the look of it. But, and then you can both laugh at my poor skills.
Leak skills.
I wish they were. They're not anymore. They were once. But yeah, I've actually dusted off the Xbox One as well lately, so I'm playing through Gears 4. And I was trying to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. That annoyed me. But,
I just finished Shadow. It was not good.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, yeah.
Oof. It's rough.
Yeah. But how often do you find it playing a game that you're completely and utterly stuck, and then you rage quit or something, and then you go back to it weeks later or months later in this case, and just go right through?
Yeah, it's weird. Bit of clarity, bit of distance.
I didn't realise I was right at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Great big night creatures that were just kicking the absolute crap out of me, frankly.
Nice.
And I went on, I died twice, and then the 3rd time I just suddenly realised, oh, I can get up onto a higher level where there's loads of other weapons. There was a really cool moment where I hit this lift where you go flying through the air, and I was flying backwards, and I sniped one of the knights right in the head as I was flying up backwards.
Nice.
One of those gaming moments that reignited my passion a little bit. It was really quite cool. But yeah, I find that so often that I'll be stuck, and then usually rage quit, go off in a huff, make a cup of tea, come back, turn it back on, and then sail through that bit. It's really weird. I think it must psychologically destroy you that you're getting beaten so often, and then you go back to it fresh and whack it.
Cool. I'm playing. I played the heck out of Doom 64. Doom 64 was amazing. Really enjoyed it. Played the 100% net, got everything, which is awesome. And when I'm not playing that, I'm playing Shenmue 2, which is amazing. And of course, Farming Sim 19.
That's the forklift simulator, isn't it?
That's one. You see, you can always tell someone who hasn't played Shenmue, because what they'll say is, that's the forklift simulator. That's how you know people back in the real world. If someone goes forklifts, they've never played Shenmue, and you can go, I got you. Alright, that's just about us done, right team? Any final words? Before we get kicked off of Zoom?
I wish you could do something about the controls in Animal Crossing as well, going back to that.
What's annoying you about the controls?
They annoy me. I'm constantly opening the wrong menu up.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
When I should be opening the little tool wheel up.
Yeah.
I hit the controller on the other side and bring everything up.
Yeah.
And then whilst you're trying to fight to get a net out to get a tarantula that's coming right for you, and I don't know, it's just, I think playing newly for so long, I think it's just...
Yeah, you've been wired.
I'm just wired. I'm wired wrong now to play New Horizons properly.
I want it to be like in GTA 5 where you just hold L2 and use the right stick to choose your weapon. That's how I want the tool wheel to be. Just use like a trigger and then the right stick. But it's up and left stick, isn't it? And it just doesn't work for me. Moving my thumb down from the left stick, it's always on. Yeah. And pressing up. That's not what I'm doing.
No, it's the whole tool wheel thing. The amount of times I've either deselected, because you can favourite your tools, can't you? And I go into the wrong menu and then deselect it. I press on the other side, and it's just, that infuriates me. Yeah. And the actual tool wheel itself, like you say, you want the tool that's in the top left. And quite often you'll accidentally select the one down or something. It just, there's a few little annoyances like that.
All right. Well, I'm sure there'll be, little bits and drabs of Animal Crossing in the following podcasts as well. But in the meantime, any final words, team?
It's a good night from me.
It's a good night from me.
Good night.
Yes.
All right, cheers, guys. See you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.